I learned something new today, everybody. We're going far out. We're going very far out today. While relaxing and studying my astrology dictionary here, I came across an interesting concept. The topic that I would like to discuss today is quadrants and how we can tap into the astrological quadrants to discover our innate fountain of youth. I don't even believe I'm saying this right now. Like this this is amazing. This is new info. I'm just over here giggling and smiling like, wait a minute, I'm going to document this because wow. Check this out. All right, here. You just over here, you just everywhere. All right. Just a little background. This method of astrology that I am getting ready to discuss comes from the Hellenistic tradition. Hellenistic stems from ancient Greece and ancient Greek culture. And if we go further back, if we trace the history of Hellenistic astrology further back to its origin, to its roots, what we will discover is that the ancient Greeks, when they were developing their Hellenistic astrology, they learned their techniques and a lot of their astrological thoughts from two main cultures that they actually refer to as the ancients. So what I'm getting ready to discuss to you, I know it's going to sound a little bit off of the wall, but this is ancient astrology that we're getting ready to speak about, coming from the Hellenistic tradition, which stems from two main cultures. Are you ready? The first one, the Chaldeans, which is code for Babylonians. The second culture, ancient Egyptians, which is code for Africans. And the Hellenistic, the Greeks, when they were over learning about the study of astrology, they borrowed heavily from these two cultures, which they considered the ancients, in order to start putting together their schools of astrology. Enough with the history lesson. You can go and study this further, and I highly encourage you to study this further. Learn a little bit about Hellenistic astrology because I feel like it could take a lot of our astrology game to the next level. So I'm going to read straight from the book, straight from this text that I just showed you, the Astrological Dictionary. And I'm going to describe to you how I feel as though this taps us into unlocking our youthfulness. Are you ready? In Hellenistic astrology, quadrants included the houses on either side of the chart angles and related to the stages of life. The first quadrant contains the second, the first, and the 12th houses, and it signifies youth. Now, I bet you never probably thought of that before. I would have thought maybe first, second, third. But it says here, and this isn't a misprint, it says here is the second house, the first house, and the 12th house. This signifies youth. All right, I'm going to go through the rest of this section very quickly, and then we're going to circle back. The second quadrant consists of the 11th house, the 10th house, and the ninth house. And this signifies middle age. I hope you have your notebooks out and your pens out and you're writing this down. Okay, we're going to keep moving. The third quadrant consists of the 8th house, the 7th house, and the 6th house. And this signifies old age. Please write this down. Please write this down. The fourth quadrant represents the 5th house, the 4th house, and the 3rd house. Now, get this, this is going to blow your mind. These houses, the 5th, the 4th, and the 3rd house, signifies the soul after death. What? I had to read this passage a couple of times. I'm like, what? You don't learn this in modern astrology. See, I had to go all the way back to the ancients to get this intel. Okay? This is some good intel right here. Let me tell you why. We're going to circle back now to the main point of this video. And right here, there's so many nuggets and jewels in this video. There's so much research that could be done just off of what I just read and what I just said thus far. But we're going to take it even further. I told you we're going far out today. How do you tap into the fountain of youth? According to the ancients, as documented by the Hellenistic astrologers, who's feeding off a Chaldean, Babylonian culture and Egyptian, African culture, okay? The first quadrant contains the 2nd house, the 1st house, and the 12th house. So, you want to tap into your youthfulness? Tell me, dear brethren and sisters, what zodiac signs rule your 2nd house, your 1st house, and your 12th house? Also, dear brethren and sisters, tell me what planets are located in your 2nd house, your 1st house, and your 12th house. And once you are able to discover that, I mean natally, we're talking about natally, look in your natal chart and tell me where these placements are, what zodiac signs are there, what planets are there. Once again, I'm going to say these houses one more time. 2nd house, 1st house, 12th house. You need to locate those houses, those zodiac signs, and also the rulers